Hi, welcome to Inside the Moms Club, where being a mom is the coolest place to be. Here in the Moms Club, we believe that what embarrasses you now will make a great story later. And let's face it, you don't laugh sometimes, you're gonna cry. Join us in having a good laugh together. I'm Monica Samuels. You are now inside the Moms Club, your private destination for all things mom. Hi, moms. Welcome to Inside the Moms Club. So glad you could join us today. And I'm here with my co-host, Raha Dixon.
Hello.
Hey, Raha. How are you?
I am great. How are you?
I'm excellent. It's been a while since we've seen each other because it's been summer break.
True.
And you traveled down under. You went to Australia.
Did. Yes. And it was freezing because it's winter there. Yeah. So we froze, and I was there in the biggest storm they've had in a decade.
Oh, wow.
So I was like...
Snowstorm? Or what kind of storm?
It was a rainstorm.
Oh, wow.
Some hailing in some areas, but we didn't experience hail. We were right in the city of Sydney. My brother lives in a suburb called Redfern, so we were staying with him. It was so cold, but I didn't care. I loved it. This was my first trip since 2019, since the pandemic. I hadn't seen my brother in almost 3 years, and I went jogging in the rain. I didn't care. I was like, let's go. And it was really great. Gave me a lot of perspective. Also, getting on the plane was very hard. I would have called myself a seasoned traveler. I was freaking out getting on that plane. So I was like, well, okay, the pandemic totally affected me.
So did Sai go with you?
He did. And we both discussed it. He was like, Mom, I'm a little weirded getting on the plane. I said, I know, me too. It's okay. Let's just embrace that and be okay with the scary and then just see how we go. I don't know what I was supposed to say.
Wow.
But it was really interesting because I didn't think I was really affected in that way because I always said, I can't wait to travel. I can't wait to. And then when it came time, it was anxiety and fear and so yeah, wow, lesson,
Yeah.
but still a great trip.
Like a great trip. Well, since I have older kids, my husband and I got to travel ourselves.
Oh wow,
to Italy.
That's
and
luxurious.
I will say, you know what's interesting? When we got there, everybody was American around us. I mean, it's like all of the United States was shot out of a cannon, and we all ended up on the Amalfi Coast, which was awesome. But you know,
I'm sorry, the Amalfi Coast.
Yes, the Amalfi Coast. It was lovely, and I really, when I go on vacations, a lot of times by the end, I'm sort of like, oh, you know, it's been great, but I really kind of am ready to go home.
Yeah.
Not on the Amalfi Coast.
I bet not.
You're kind of like, I don't think I want to go home. I don't think this is pretty terrific. And we were in this hotel that was near a villa, that Sophia Loren's villa. So we kind of had the same view as Sophia Loren.
Wait, did you see her? Was she there?
No, we never did. Of course, my husband, the great, celebrity stalker, he tried. I mean, he took pictures, he looked, but no, we never.
He took pictures?
See Sophia Loren. Well, we took pictures of her house, from where we were, you could do that. Okay. And then we also, being a great history buff, I visited Pompeii.
Oh, wow.
Which was really, really interesting, I have to say. If you're ever in Naples or that area, you should definitely go see that. And being me, I had to go to the gift shop because there's not I shop a lot, as we all know. There is not a gift shop anywhere that I've ever missed. So I went to the Pompeii gift shop, and I have to say, I was very impressed. It was quite tasteful, which it's not always the case because I remember when my sister was in third grade, she went on a class trip, and she came back with her souvenir from the Alamo, which was a little tin cup that was a little crushed, and it said, I got smashed at the Alamo.
Oh, wow.
So that's the kind of stuff they were selling.
Woo!
In this case, they sold it to a third grader. And I've always wondered about some of those, some of those places. I mean, do you really want a tea towel from, Pompeii or...
What did you get?
Or the Alamo? I mean, I got a lovely bookmark.
Okay.
Like I said, it was really tasteful.
Okay.
What's
on the bookmark?
Oh, so I don't know.
Okay.
She does. Some scene from something in Pompeii.
All right.
But it was really nice. So I got to do my shopping and went to Capri. as it's
Oh,
called.
yes, Capri.
Yeah, well, told. And with Mario.
Very relatable over
on
here.
our boat. Yeah. Oh, yeah. These are first world problems.
This
you know
one.
what? Okay, so here's the deal. I think that moms need,
Yes.
if they can, not every mom, that's true. I'm
Okay.
very blessed that I could go to the Amalfi Coast. I have to say that. But whatever mom you are out there, every mom needs a little rest and relaxation and something that makes her feel good.
Yeah.
That is just a necessary part of being a mom.
I totally agree.
And, and it's particularly when you're a new mom, it's an adjustment.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you had to really adjust to, and weird adjustments too. Like,
Yeah.
I practiced law for years, and I remember I had my son, and they didn't have it figured out yet about the breast pump situation in those days.
Man.
So I had
Brutal.
to do that in my office.
Did you? Yeah.
And it was horrible. And I remember one time I was on a conference call, and I was having to do this while I was on a conference call, which was a little awkward. And
It wasn't
during
a
the
Zoom.
call, I stopped and I thought, something feels wet in my lap. And I looked down and there's this puddle. So, I mean, that's pretty brutal. So, you know what? I needed
You needed Capri.
something. I needed some other moms to tell me, you know what?
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. That's just being a new mom. Or
Yeah.
let's all go and have a drink together. Or let's do something fun.
Good for you for even doing that. I lasted a week with the breast pump at work, literally a week. And I was like, you know what? 5 months is good enough for you. And I packed up the whole thing and we stopped breastfeeding.
Those are hard. And you know what?
Yeah.
I hope they've come a long way with that corporate America, because I was lucky that I had an office. I mean,
I did too, but
people that
even
didn't have
my
an
office had like the door had a little window and you could see in.
Oh.
So I had put paper on that window, but you're always scared that someone's going to try and come in. So you're kind of pumping this.
No,
It was really brutal.
there's a lot
a
lot to being a mom.
We only did 5
and
months.
unfortunately, and that was the easy part, actually.
Yeah.
It got a little harder.
Here we
Even
are.
today, when I've got kids in college, it's a little harder.
Oh gosh.
Well, we are so excited today to have a woman who made it her mission. She's like one of the first mom influencers. We're so excited to have her here with us today. But she made it her mission to help new moms kind of make that adjustment together and also, pamper themselves a little bit.
Bring the sexy back?
Get something, yeah. So
let's
she's
go.
an author, a writer, producer, and the founder of Diva Moms, which
Great.
is a New York City-based lifestyle event and marketing company. She's the co-author of best-selling books, If You Give Mom a Martini, which has been optioned for a film, and I guarantee you I'll be watching that with my mom friends, probably drinking martinis, and Motherhood is a Bitch, which is her second book. She helped launch the career through her Diva Moms network of E.L. James. And if you don't recognize that name, you should, because she's the author of the 50 Shades trilogy.
That is so cool.
So that is pretty cool.
The ultimate divalicious story
and
ending.
she's into
Look
being
at that.
divalicious, so that's perfect. And she's a contributor to CNN, The Today Show. She has produced things for Nickelodeon and Scripps Howard, including something called Bad Moms of History, which when I read that, I actually started researching like, okay, I'm just curious. Do bad moms make bad kids? Or were there bad kids that had bad moms? Or good kids that had Anyway, P.L. Travers was on that list.
Really?
Who wrote Mary Poppins, yeah.
That's a little scary.
That's a whole, so see, this woman has done
I knew that.
everything.
That was creepy, that story. I knew it.
You knew.
I knew it. Who comes down a chimney and goes, ooh? No, that's
Santa
weird.
Claus, but no. No, anyway. We are thrilled to welcome Lyss Stern. Welcome to the Moms Club, Lyss.
Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for being here. And so let's start with, how did you create Diva Moms? Tell us your story, how that started.
Sure. So I have 3 children, 18, 15, and my daughter is 8 now. So 2 boys and a girl. And I always say that they are my number one job, J-O-B, because my son starts with a J, my other son is an O, and my daughter is a B, job. So my 3 children are my everything.
Aww.
And 18 years ago, after my first son was born, about 6 months into it, I started going to, in New York City, new mothers' luncheons. Because at the time, that's really all there was for new moms. And I felt that, you know, as I was looking around these luncheons, you weren't really allowed to talk to one another. You had to be quiet. You couldn't really communicate with one another.
Why? What were they doing there?
I just felt that there was something missing. So I remember walking home, my son in his carriage, and like a light bulb went off in my head. My background is in PR and marketing. And I said, there has to be something more for moms. Like, how can this just be it? And I remember going home and putting the pen to paper. And I said, I'm going to start a company for moms.
Yeah.
I'm going to do fun events where moms get to, and what's happened really with Diva Moms, the community, is it's an offline, online community of fabulous moms all around the world. Yes, the events are in New York City and the tri-state area, but they are, you know, for moms everywhere. And I think it's really important for moms to be able to share, to communicate, to be able to have online, offline relationships, see each other in person. A community is so important. And that's what we create through our events. And it's been really, really incredible to see friendships grow through our events, amazing relationships, work relationships. And I just love to keep moms empowered, feeling good about themselves, knowing that it's okay and it's important to take at least 10 minutes a day just for them. I call it a mom timeout, MTO, which is really important. And that's from my first book, If You Give a Mom a Martini, 100 Ways to Take 10 Blissful Minutes to Yourself. And that's it. And here we are today.
I think that's great because, you know, it seems like everything's centered for moms, at least when my kids were little, because they're older now.
Yeah.
It was all centered around the kids, of course. So I remember the first time I was seeing other moms was taking my son to Gymboree, which I don't know if that still exists.
Gymboree.
And I really felt stupid, actually. I felt inadequate because there were a lot of those other moms, they could do all the little hand gestures with the songs. And I was sitting there and I looked like a dope. And I felt like I was a really, intelligent person. And so I didn't even feel like later on I could talk to these other moms because I felt like they were looking at me like, oh, did you see her? Like, she doesn't know, this little engine or whatever. So I think it's nice that to center it on the moms. Yeah. So how did you first bring them together? What was the first meeting that you had, or how did you get it started?
Sure. So I'll tell you about that in one sec. But I also want to first share that with Diva Moms, our community, there are no judgments. Like every single mom, whether you're a new mom, a mom of an expectant mom, a mom of a teenager, a mom of a child going off to college, whatever it may be, a teen, a tween, younger child, we're all moms and we're all in this together.
Yeah.
And it is just hard work. And I want everybody to know that this community for moms everywhere is no judgment. Everybody's doing the best they can. And we're all juggling. I know it's so cliche, but 1,001 balls at once, trying not to let one drop. And you know what? I drop 1 million a day. Or, I don't say 1 million, but definitely several. And that's okay. Anyway, okay, so how did I get started? So my first event, which was awesome, my friend was working at a jewelry store. And I said to her, I want to have an event there. I want to bring in moms and I want to bring in entertainment for the moms. And she was like, what are you talking about? And I said, just trust me. I have an idea.
Wow.
She's like, of course, I trust you. I know who you are, what you've been doing. I should also backtrack too. Before I actually really started Diva Moms, I was also a correspondent for Cookie Magazine, which was Condé Nast's family publication. It was their first family publication at the time. And I became their lifestyle correspondent. So simultaneously, as I was growing Diva Moms, I was also working for Cookie Magazine as their lifestyle correspondent. And a lot of the events and things we did together came together through that, which was really incredible experience as well. where I also learned a lot of my marketing skills that we use today through that amazing experience as well, and still keep in touch with all those amazing women and moms through that. And I think it's really important too to always keep relationships and foster them through your jobs, because you never know who later on you're going to need or connect with, which is really important too. So anyway, getting back to the story, we hosted this event. It was incredible. And just like I built my business really on one mom, I call it word of mom, one mom telling another mom, what happened was the manager of the store then called another person in another store and said, oh my goodness, there's this Diva Moms. You need to work with them. They bring in these amazing moms, and she takes care of the entertainment and the food and the raffle prizes and all that other good stuff. And it kind of just snowballed. And that's where we are today. In fact, I'm actually outside in the backyard here in East Hampton. This past Tuesday, we hosted an event, a mom timeout morning, pampering morning at a beautiful spa in East Hampton called Naturopathica. And 50 moms came, and they got massaged, and they got facials, and they got gift bags.
What?
And we love to pamper the moms and take care of them. And they all know that, again, through me and through our whole mission, is that moms need to take some time just for them. And
is this that moms purchased, or they get?
No, so we do free events a lot of times for moms.
Wow.
So the way that we get paid is through the company on the back end, and that way it's direct marketing, and we bring these moms in, so they get free pampering, free whatever.
That's amazing.
That's great.
Yeah. And then of course, if they want to purchase, further down the road, their own facial, their own massage, that's all on their time. But this is a way for the moms to get introduced to, whether it's a spa, whether it's a store, whether it's a restaurant. We bring the moms in, and it's the best direct marketing. I mean, I can't tell you how many times over the years people have said to me, Lyss, I took out a full page ad in so-and-so magazine, or I took out a full page ad and it cost me so much money in so-and-so newspaper. But with you really bring the moms and like our direct audience of who and they're like, you're incredible. And I said, well, thank you. I love what I do. And I love, making moms feel good about themselves.
What a genius connect the dots you are.
And do you have these these MTOs? Are they do you have chapters all over the country and they do these things, or how does?
So right now, that's a great question. We do 2 big mom timeout retreats every year. So the next one coming up, we are going to be inviting, and moms can come from all across the country. The next one will be October 14th to 16th in Shelter Island, out on Long Island, at this beautifully renovated, gorgeous hotel and cottages and inn. We'll be doing everything from yoga, meditation, kayaking, hiking, bicycle riding. And of course, all the food is cooked for them. Of course, no cooking, no cleaning for the moms.
Wow.
But the best part about these mom timeout retreats is that they could also come and do nothing and say, you know what? I want to go sit by the water and read a book, or I want to go sit by the water and just, take the sailboat out.
Is it an overnight thing, or is it just?
Yeah, it's 2 nights. So it's Friday night and Saturday night. They come Friday afternoon. You guys are more than welcome to come. I'd love to have you. And then they leave Sunday morning. So they come Friday and they leave Sunday. Mm-hmm. And then the next one will be in the spring, and that happens at a camp up in the Poconos. And that's also an incredible weekend where we bring in all the experts and everything for the moms. And of course, there's tie-dyeing and arts and crafts and wine and dye and wine tasting and all these other amazing experiences for the moms. Sorry, I'm just hot outside.
I think it's wonderful. We need to connect our moms to you.
I'm excited, yeah.
I feel like there would be so many moms.
Yeah, moms
wouldn't you love that?
There. I think you want to.
Yes.
You want to be part
of it. And we also, just to say too, we had moms actually at the last retreat, the spring one, moms that flew in from Virginia, from Maryland.
Wow.
I believe there was one mom that came in. She wants to come to the next one and bring several friends from Oregon.
That's amazing.
So it's really, we want to be able to bring these retreats all across the country. And we're working on that now. We just finished writing our pilot, our first 10 episodes out. We shot the sizzle, and we're going to start shopping it right after Labor Day to bring this TV show to moms everywhere so that moms could get their own takeaways and make their own mom timeouts from the TV show.
Wow.
That is great. So on these retreats, how many, like, if we put the word out and 20,000 moms said, yes, I'm all for that. I mean, do you have a limit?
What's the limit?
How do they sign up for that, or how do they?
Yeah, the limit is 50 moms per retreat, because we don't want to. I feel very strongly about keeping these retreats at a very manageable level, because I want everybody to get to know one another and to be able to connect with one another. So I mean, of course, we could have 500 moms, but that's not the kind of, to me at least, that would give me crazy anxiety, and I already have enough anxiety of wanting to go on a mom timeout retreat like that.
Yeah, so you wouldn't feel very divalicious at the end of that retreat, I wouldn't think, if you were stuck.
For moms who can't make it to something like this, I mean, you have copious amounts of advice on how to feel good about yourself. What are some of the things you can do? I mean, if you had to say the top 2 things that a mom can do to feel divalicious, I mean, some of them may not even know what that means or looks like.
I'll tell you about. Okay, so the definition of divalicious is that I think all moms should feel good about themselves, and they are all the queen of their own castle. So they are, every mom out there is this wonderful, amazing woman. And then the Lyss is my name in there, Divalyssious, because what happened was the name of the company came to be one of my friends, dear friends. She was the store manager at Barney's, New York, here in New York City. And unfortunately, that closed. But I'll never forget one day when I was walking with my son in the store, and she came up to me. I was just really in the infant stages of my company. And she said, "Lyss, you're so divalicious." And I don't know, the name just stuck with me. And I just thought it was so cute and so playful. And I want every mom to just feel their best. So going back to your question, what are 2 things that moms can do every day for themselves to make them feel divalicious?
Yes.
1, if you have a bath, I highly suggest, if you can, taking a bath at night. Perhaps when the kids go to bed.
Every night?
Scented candle, put some lavender oil in. Close your eyes and just let there was that remember the commercial, Calgon, Take Me Away? Yeah. But, to me, that's like, if you can do that, if you could take a bath every night or every other night or a few times a week.
Wow.
That would be incredible. I don't get to do it every night.
Okay.
But
yeah, you do. You also do need the help of your significant other there, because I know when I used to try to do that, the kids would show up. Like, they knew exactly
and then
what
you're in the bathroom.
I couldn't leave. So yeah, you do need a little. You need planning for that. But that does sound is awesome. I can attest to that. Absolutely. So what's the second?
Something that's really simple, I think, is going for a walk by yourself. Yeah. Put on your earbuds, whether you like to listen to a podcast, whether there's music that you like. There's no reason. Even if the baby's still an infant, put the baby in the stroller and go for a walk and do that for yourself. Because I know for me personally, after I take a walk, I feel so much better about myself and the day and my head
and everything,
where I just feel a lot clearer. So if you could do that, I highly recommend that.
Well, tell us how E.L. James, tell us how you became one of the launching points of the 50 Shades trilogy. I mean, whoever knew that was a bunch of moms that.
Yes, seriously.
I mean, I guess we could have sort of figured that out, but
fantasizing moms.
Yeah, how did that start?
A lot of fantasy. Sure. So I had read the books before they were published by their publishing company, and I remember I thought they were fun. I thought they were a great read. And I thought that other moms I'm an avid reader. I love to read. I don't sleep a lot, because I'm up reading. But to make a long story short, I'd reached out to her. I just got her email and I said, "Hi, I just finished the books, and my name is Lyss Stern. I do events and I do Diva Mom book clubs." And I, told her a little bit about myself and my bio. And I said, "If you're ever coming to New York, I would love to host an event for you, a Diva Moms book club event." And she wrote back and she said, "Hi, by the way, it was so nice to meet you. Thank you for reaching out. By the way, I actually will be in New York in several weeks. And I'd love you to plan an event for me."
Wow.
So with that being said, I called up my other best friend and I said, who runs a very big PR company here in New York City. And I said, I need an apartment to host this amazing book event in. And she said, well, what's the book? And I told her, she said, I never heard of it. I said, don't worry, it's going to be amazing. I promise you, you're going to, and she, of course, she's my best friend. She trusts me. And we wound up doing this event at a Chelsea mansion penthouse in Chelsea. And it was wild. I mean, I just put the event out there on my social media. Everyone, if you're listening, follow me on Instagram at Diva, DIVA _moms. And I post my events there, and we were at capacity within like just a few minutes of posting the event. I remember, or even putting it on my Facebook page back then.
What did you have, like S&M stuff in the picture, or how did you market it?
No, I put the book up, and I made we made a cute little invite JPEG.
Yeah.
And no, there was no S&M stuff at that event, except for like we had really great. We had cookies made with the S&M stuff, and we had some accessories there, but that was really it until that was our first event with her. And then I actually wound up introducing her to the book publisher who wound up buying, who became her book publisher at Viking Press, who also came to a lot of my events back then. And I love connecting people. So I just, because that's just who I am. I love to connect people. And the rest was history. And then we wound up doing several other really, really big, huge book parties for her with like 500 to 1,000 moms after she became, obviously huge. And she's talked at my events, and the rest was history. And kudos to her and congratulations to her for all of her success. EL, if you're watching this, I adore you.
That is great. And for you taking that initiative, I mean, I wouldn't often think of just sending an email like that. But that's a good idea.
That's the Divalyssious way.
I've learned through business, the worst that can happen is that somebody ghosts you, or they ignore you, or they say no, right?
Yeah.
But if you don't take the initiative and try, then you'll never know. So
that's true.
I like to try.
Yeah. That's what I tell my kids, when they want an autograph from somebody,
go ask.
If you don't ask, you're not getting it for sure.
Exactly.
Absolutely not. Well, we have some moms here who would like to ask you some questions, and they are our Zoomer moms. Welcome, Zoomer moms. Welcome to the Moms Club. Let's go around, and I'm going to introduce them, and I'd like them to introduce themselves. So first, we have Mary Huth. Mary, welcome to the Moms Club. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here. My name is Mary. I'm based in Los Angeles. I have a business where I sell vintage and collectible pottery, primarily from pre- and post-war Southern California, which is very narrow and strange. But anyway, and Lyss, your story is so inspirational to me. And I just was wondering, are there role models that you had that you were going to try and model your own business after, or were there mentors or heroes that you had that you could really share with us that helped you get launched and be so successful?
Oh, thank you. So that's a great question. In fact, I just was interviewed for an online publication, and that was one of the last questions. They asked me who helped you, who mentored you, who shaped you. And I I could cry talking about this. My grandmother, Natalie, she was my everything. And I was so close to her, as was my sister. And she just, to me, and again, this is many, many years ago, she was a rock star. She ran an import-export business at JF Kennedy Airport. She drove her blue Cadillac. She smoked her cigarettes. Okay, no smoking today, right? I certainly don't smoke. But I don't judge if you do. That's great. I just personally don't. And she listened to Frank Sinatra, and she worked, and she was an amazing mother and the most incredible grandmother. I'll never forget. I used to sometimes I get sick as a kid, and I had really, really bad case of the chicken pox. It was it was bad. And I'll never forget. I said to she was an amazing cook. And I remember saying to my mom, oh, I just want Nanny's matzo ball soup because it'll make me feel better. And my mom said to me, you can't call her. She's busy at work. She's, 3 o'clock in the morning importing cattle and I said, I'm going to call her. And I called her. I said, Nan, I said, can you please make me matzo ball soup? Like, I know it's hard and you're busy with work. And she said, anything for you. And she came on over and she brought all the, her big pot, and she brought her vegetables and her chicken and she is the most incredible woman. And I truly, even on my work desk, there's a picture of me and my grandmother in a frame.
Wow.
And she's my hero. Her and also my sister now, my younger sister, who's extremely successful. She's in the TV film business. She's raising 2 little kids, my niece and my nephew. They are absolutely incredible children. But my sister's killing it in her career. And she never says no. I mean, she says no to me, but there's nothing that my sister can't take on or do. So, I mean, it's incredible. And my niece is named Natalie after my grandmother.
That's so
what
sweet.
treasures. Treasures. That's so great.
Cool. Danny Brooks is also here with us. Welcome, Danny. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, Liz. Yes, my name is Danny. I'm located in Los Angeles. I own my own bakery called Period Pastries. We donate a small percentage of our sales to girls in need of period support. So I absolutely love what you're doing, obviously, to help moms. I have a 9-year-old and a 7-year-old. So at this age, it's like really important to get away from the kids. So first things first, when is it coming to Los Angeles? And is there an option of, when it's only 50 people, could you isolate it where you have like a sober mom 50 group, where you have moms who do want to do wine tastings or whatever, like something like that, so that there's something in common? Because as a mom who no longer drinks, it can feel isolating when you go to these events and everybody's getting blitzed,
Yeah.
So the great news is that that's something actually great to think about. So thank you for that. And we do actually, at the spring retreat, there were several moms that are sober moms. And not everything is about drinking, just FYI. Like, it's not like you're not drinking 24/7. If you want to drink and if you want to have a glass of wine and you want to do a wine tasting, great, and go for it. Right. But that is it's actually really like a healthy weekend. Not, everything is, except for the ice cream at night in the canteen and the other stuff. But really, the food is amazing, from breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and snacks, again, except for, nighttime stuff. And again, you don't have to eat that. It's definitely there. But I do love that idea. So that's something definitely to think of, down the road as we grow these mom timeout retreats. So thank you for that. But I just definitely want everybody to know this is not like a drinking feast from morning to night at all. If you want to have a glass of wine, great. If you want to have, but anyway, but thank you for that.
Sure.
Well, we on the Moms Club, we do like to connect people too. So you have your book is If You Give Mom a Martini, and Danny has a bakery. If You Give Mom a
Yes!
Well, I think there's already a book kind of like that.
And I love, I'm sorry to interrupt. What kinds of pastries do you make? Because I'm love.
A little bit of everything. A little bit of everything. My favorite things that I make are the French macarons. My triple chocolate cookies are pretty good. I do cakes, lots of custom stuff, because I just do everything out of my house here in LA.
So can I follow you on? Can I follow everybody back on Instagram?
Yeah,
sure. I'm at Period Pastries. It's just how it sounds.
That's great.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you so much for asking.
Leslie Harrell, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I have a lot of mom friends that are in LA, so I love to share content, and I love to, again, connect people. So I let them know about your bakery as well.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Liz.
Look at that.
That is great. See, a connection there.
I love that.
And quickly, Mary, what's your Instagram, or where can she find you? Where can
my Instagram is super easy. It's at Cranky Mom.
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
Just Cranky Mom. That's it.
I love it. Yeah, that is great. Leslie Harrell, tell us a little bit about yourself. And do you have any questions for Lyss?
Oh, well, I mean, I've been on the Moms Club a lot. So I have a 20-year-old and a 17-year-old getting that out the door. So Your stuff is so fun. Like, and what I keep thinking about is you just, in reading about your mind is always spinning. Like, obviously you are an idea magnet. And you remind me of my friend who, like, I just say everything she touches turns to gold, because she just keeps spinning until something lands. So, like, how do you even, with your mind and how you're working it, how do you even pivot or like hone in on a thing? I mean, you've got this long history, you've been in New York, you have all these connections. So obviously a lot of these ideas organically grow because people have faith in who you are and who you've established yourself in your community. But, like, because of that, A, you must have a ton of input from a ton of people on what you do. And B, you yourself have to have just a jillion ideas. Like, how do you land the planes on that? That just seems like it would be like a huge task.
So that's a great question. I should also start by saying I have definitely undiagnosed. I've never officially been diagnosed, but I diagnosed myself with ADD. So I keep a lot of notes and tabs all the time. So I'm always constantly, any idea that I have, I write down, and I then try and go back to it to flush it out to make sure that it's not just like a crazy idea that I'm having. I'm also a Pisces. So if you're familiar with, I'm sorry, I'm like sweating out here. If you're familiar with Pisces, they're very creative. So I try to, really write down and hone in what my different ideas are, and then go back and research and see, hey, is this an idea that I actually think could I manifest and make it happen? I also have a very big support team around me, and they're very honest with me, saying, again, because I wake up at 3:00 in the morning with an idea, Lyss, go back to bed. That's not a great idea. I'll bounce it off somebody. But I think that through doing what I do, I think I really actually know what moms want and moms need, just have been doing this for so long. And I think that my husband actually is also in the entertainment business. He's a producer and a manager. And a lot of times he'll say to me, I also we've been together married for over 20 years. We've been together a long time. And I'll say to him, here's an idea. And he'll say, no, until I come. And maybe once in a while, like even now with this TV show, he came to me and he said, I think this is like the right time to go out and do something with what you're doing with these mom time out retreats as far as a TV show. So I think sometimes when you have that, people that you could talk to and they tell you, yes, I think that's a good idea, or no, put that to bed now and maybe come back to that later on, is very helpful.
Well, good luck to you.
And Leslie has a business. Where can they find you on Instagram?
Well, I mean, my personal Instagram is fairly boring, so I wouldn't even give you that. But I do have my own business, Blitz Concessions, so you can follow Blitz Concessions to follow what I'm doing on that. But my personal Instagram is pretty boring. I'm not a giant Instagrammer.
Yeah, well, but
not sure it's that interesting.
No, it's all very.
What is Blitz? What do you do?
I developed a platform for high school concession stands to help raise money, because so much of that is it's a fundraising effort. So it's trying to increase sales and simplify the process while making the technology pretty cool for the high school level.
That's great.
It is.
Oh, that's awesome, because my son is a senior in high school and my other son is going into 10th grade, a sophomore. I'd love to learn more about your business.
Yeah,
well, look it up. I appreciate
it.
Can they do that here? Can they work in New York through the
anywhere
businesses?
in the United States? Anywhere in the United States is good.
Oh, that's awesome.
And
how did you come up with that idea?
Being a mom and spending a lot of time volunteering and kind of my background in some retail and, just kind of the background of like inventory turns and all that kind of stuff and running a business. And so many people get into it. These moms who are volunteers just kind of get sucked into it because they just get assigned to it and they're helpers. And so, but a lot of them don't have the business background. So it's trying to make it easy and make it where people can do it, even though it gets put upon them, but also just make a whole lot more money.
And that's what we love about mom. We've got some great entrepreneur moms here. You started Blitz. We've got a baker, and next we have Judith Foster Thompson. Welcome to the Moms Club. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and do you have a question for Lyss?
Yeah, it's so nice to meet you. I love your energy. I'm here in Los Angeles. I have 3 grown children. I actually live and caregive for my 91-year-old mom. And I'm a writer, producer, filmmaker, and I have a series on YouTube that is comedy based on caregiving for my mom who has Alzheimer's. What my question is I'm thinking about the moms that do have children that maybe keep them at home, like the ones that maybe are in the bed, like round the clock kind of needs. And you have that love language of service, I notice, and networking. And I think a lot of parents that are at home caregiving all the time feel like, oh, I don't have the energy and my house is a mess. But you've tapped into how important it is, the social interaction of others and how that really feeds the soul. What would you recommend? Because you have ideas for somebody who feels kind of trapped in that cycle and creating that social network where they can finally get over like, okay, my house is a mess, but I need people to come over and us to have a good time. What are some tricks and tools and things that you could recommend for parents that are in that circumstance?
Sure. So that's a great question. And I should also mention, too, that if we sell this TV show, not if, I have to manifest and say when we sell this TV show, what we're going to do, too, is we're going to bring each episode, we're going to bring a mom onto the show that perhaps, just to give you an example, if they're caring for an elderly parent and they haven't been away for a while and they need a break, we're going to bring them onto the show. We're going to give them that through the weekend. If it's a mom that has a child with special needs and she also hasn't been able to take a break in a while, we're going to bring her on and we're going to be able to give her some help and tools. If it's a mom, we actually have a mom, she just went through breast cancer treatment. And so she actually came on the last retreat and she's like, I just need to live here. I just need, but we're going to bring her back hopefully for the show and be able to give her these. That's the mission also of the show too, is that, moms that necessarily might not be able to come to the retreats because it's far or they can't get away. They'll be able to take tidbits from the show into their life and use them at home. But going back to your question, I'm sorry about that roundabout. Some of the idea, moms need to realize too, that like, it's okay to have a messy house because that we're moms, right? And like everything isn't, I mean, if you watch my Instagram, I'm very funny and I'm very snarky about motherhood. My house is not always clean. My house is not always perfect. I have kids over all the time, in and out. I have 3 kids of 3 different ages. And I think it's important to keep it real and know that, like, there are days I'll open my refrigerator and there's nothing left except for sparkling water, and I say, guys, like, if we're going to have our friends over, I need to stock up, or, I'm running to the bodega to pick up some chips or whatever it may be. But I think that we all need to realize that we're all in this together. And if your home's a mess, that's okay. Keep invite the kids over, invite their parents over. And we don't have to make excuses. I'm sorry that my house is a mess right now, or I'm sorry that, the bathroom didn't get cleaned. Like, we're all moms. And
I love that.
This is all okay. So my advice to moms everywhere is that it's okay not to, what's the word I'm looking for? To have everything look a certain way or feel a certain way. As long as you have a home that's loving and you're caring for your children and you're caring for their friends and everybody, that's what's most important. At the end of the day, are the kids going to remember that the house was a mess? Are the kids going to remember that, they had friends over and the house wasn't as clean as it should be? That's okay. Because we all want to have a loving, happy home.
I love that. And I want to pull that clip so my husband can hear it, because I love that. Julie Orchid, welcome. And can you tell everyone about yourself? And do you have a question for Lyss?
Hi, Liz. My name's Julie. I have a 15-year-old girl and a 19-year-old daughter who took off for Spain, and I cried my eyeballs out at the airport. But, she's off. She's off. I won't even ask you how you think you're going to handle next year for college. We won't go there. But you've hit, so many points. It's not upon me that the sun is shining on you because you are light and your energy is fantastic. I love it. But I have a question about how you've mentioned ADD a little bit and maybe, waking up in the middle of the night, some anxiety. I think we all feel and touch on that a little bit. I don't know if it's an epidemic or we're all just undiagnosed. I don't know. But how do you handle that? How do you hone in on the idea and, fire it out into the universe and, so to speak, like make the spaghetti stick to the wall? You've been super successful and it's super inspiring. So tell us how you handle that.
So I should first begin with letting everybody know that, because everybody's like, no, it's so boring, nobody cares, but I want to share the story with you because it's important. I had COVID back in 2020. Mm-hmm. And I am still a long hauler. So with that being said, as somebody that had anxiety pre-COVID, then when I had COVID, it pushed my anxiety into a whole other sphere. So one of the things that I've learned to do over time with this now, with my anxiety, is learning how to, again, take more and more timeouts for myself and say, Mom isn't an octopus, even though, we all have 8, seems like we have 100 arms and they're all out to all, every area. Yeah. But it's okay though now, at least I have to, for myself and for my anxiety, to say no. In fact, it's much easier to say yes to everything, but it's hard to say no, and then hard to say no, stop. And it's okay though for us to do that. And I think it's important to do that, especially with the anxiety and, not knowing what tomorrow will bring. And something that I've also really stopped doing, I also work with a lot of different people for my long COVID stuff. So I work with, we'll get into that at another time. But one of the things that I've learned to do is stop, it's called doom scrolling. So at night, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning when I was up, because I couldn't sleep, I would always be on my phone and I'd be looking at the news, and I can't do it anymore. No. Especially with now, there was in New York City, they were saying monkeypox was going to be really, really bad this fall and bad for the kids. And, every day there's just something else going on. And I've had to kind of learn to stop. And unless, it's something that's really important, because a lot of the headlines are also very misleading. I've stopped watching the news so much. And I watch Netflix, Hulu, Apple TV, HBO Max, read my books, my magazines. And so it's really helped me with some of that, the anxiety stuff.
I love that term, doom scrolling. Love it. It does help. It does help to stop it.
Sadly, and I'm going to have to doom scroll right here to say that it's the end. I really hate this because this has been a really great show. It's been so much fun. The time has gone by so fast. Remind us again where we can find you on social media.
Sure. Follow me on Diva, DIVA _moms. And that's on Instagram. And I promise you will have lots of laughs from me. Watch my stories. I will keep you entertained. But again, no doom scrolling, only fun scrolling on my Instagram. And I look forward to connecting with all of you. And it was just such a pleasure being here today. And thank you, everybody. And let's enjoy the rest of this beautiful weather that we're having. Yeah. And going into the spring, going into the fall with a clearer head and trying to just, take some deep breaths, everybody, because that's what we need to do.
Absolutely.
All of us.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And we want to thank our sponsor, Catch Events, which that's a wedding and event planning service that will turn your dreams into reality. And we certainly hope that they do, because that's what they promised. You can find them at Catch Events _. You can find us on Instagram at Inside the Moms Club, and we're doing a lot of fun things there. And
she's doing a lot of fun things there. Your videos are killing me right now.
My videos have been kind of fun. So if you have some fun mom experiences, send me a message and I will turn them into, I hope, a funny, fun video that you can enjoy.
That's right.
Well, I can't believe that our time is over. But we'll be back next time with celebrities and extraordinary moms just like you. We know that your me time is precious and valuable. Thanks so much for sharing it with us. And remember our Moms Club motto: if you don't laugh sometimes, you are going to cry. Nope, nobody wants to cry.
Although I do it a lot.
This is a great movie and you feel like that's the way you should. But other than that, no crying. All laughing, all having fun. And join us again next time on Inside the Moms Club.
Thank you so much.